Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations. A little on edge right now because I'm trying a new way of recording this, since my laptop has been having a lot of issues lately, so I'm just gonna try recording this on my new computer. I was using Hop Capture at first, but the files that it makes are not compatible with Vegas Movie Studio, which sucks because the files are actually like pretty amazing in terms of like the quality and file size. It's beautiful. So yeah, I'm using my old ass capture card with OBS. Here's hoping things go smoothly. Anyway, last time we wrapped up our investigation. Today, we begin the trial. Oh, I see. I guess I should have expected this. Nobody saw the other guy, huh? I feel like I'm giving her a different voice every day. But he was there when I took the coffee over, sir. Scout's honor. Maggie. Detective Gumshoe! Are you doing alright? How are you feeling? As if you need to ask either question, sir. Don't let him get you down, Maggie. And don't forget to eat well. Okay? Roger. And you? Yes? You'd better square this case away. Get it, pal. Maggie's innocent. Yeah, here. If you screw up, I'll be doing some squaring away myself. Squaring away some paperwork for your arrest. I think he's serious. Hey, detective, you're on our side for once, right? Yup. So you'll be able to help Maggie out, right? Really? Can you, sir? Of course. Got the situation under control. I'm gonna be the first witness on the stand today. If something I say doesn't mesh with the facts, be sure you point it out. Alright. Sure. Okay. Forming a united front today, pal. You get me? I can't tell you how grateful I am, sir. I've always admired you so much, detective. I know I can count on you. Looks like it should all go pretty smoothly today, huh? I can only wish. Court is now in session for the trial of Maggie Bird. The defense is ready, Your Honor. It never gets old. Ah, bitter. Okay. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? Ah! What's wrong? Nothing. It's just whenever I addressed you in the previous trial, your response was, "You's talking to me?" It was a little, well, intimidating. No, that wasn't me. That was the phony Phoenix. I see. So our trusty Phoenix Wright is back with us now, is he? Our trusty? So, Mr. Godot, your opening statement, please. Mr. Trite, whether you're a fake or the real deal, we will find out soon enough through this trial today. But I can already tell you, I'm the real Phoenix Wright. I wasn't questioning whether you are Phoenix Wright or not. I was questioning whether you had studied law or not. That's what I intend to find out. There's no denying it. Behind that mask is a man who really hates me for some reason or another. As everyone is aware, the court has already given its verdict on this case once. Therefore, I won't stand for irrelevant testimony during this retrial. Nor will I stand for a simple repetition of the evidence presented in the last trial. I'm not planning on repeating anything that phony me said. Trust me. Now then, Mr. Godot, please summon your first witness. Let's start with the formalities, shall we? Name and occupation. Witness, state your name for the court. Oh, sorry, sir. Name's Police Department Detective. Occupation, Dick Gumshoe. That would be a really bad occupation. Just saying. Other way around, detective. Oh, sorry. Anyway, I'm the officer in charge of this case since yesterday, sir. Since yesterday? Yeah. The guy was on the initial investigations tied up with another case now. I hope Gumshoe's really got everything under control. For everyone's sake. I see. So, Detective Gumshoe, would you outline for the court the basic facts of the case? Yes, sir. The victim's name was Glenn Elk. He's a professional programmer. He was on the payroll of Blue Screens Inc., a local company. This is the victim's autopsy report. The court accepts this into evidence. Glenn's autopsy report added to the court record. Here are the floor plans of the restaurant. Well, first things first. Potassium cyanide poisoning between 1:30 and 2:30. When the incident took place, the victim was sitting right here. Poisoned coffee was brought over to him by the waitress. The waitress being the accused. Yeah. The victim died from poison almost immediately after he took a sip of the coffee. At the time of the incident, there were 2 other people in the restaurant. Mr. John Armstrong, the owner and chef, and a regular by the name of Mr. Victor Kudo. It still seems to be a very straightforward case to me. Tray B and floor plans added to the court record. Come, detective, take up this hammer and nail the defendant's coffin shut with your own 2 hands. Also, let me just take a little look. Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. Now then, Detective Gumshoe, let's have your testimony. Yes, sir. The incident. When the incident took place, the victim was alone at his table, sir. We understand that the guy, Glenn Elk, was listening to the radio at the time. Traces of poison were found in his coffee cup. What we found was potassium cyanide. That stuff really packs a punch. And, it looks like Miss Bird might have had, well, some kind of a motive. Using the dark, aromatic depths of coffee to conceal the poison. Classy lady. He's so good. The facts of this case seem to be ironclad. Mr. Wright, I will ask you to begin your cross-examination, but... Yes? Please, no intimidation tricks this time around. Is that understood? I already told you that wasn't me. Alright. The incident. I mean, I know I said previously I was going to press on everything, but we need to get... Well, I mean, I'm going to get right to the point here because there's just some stuff here that, like, we need to just delve a little deeper into this. So, some kind of a motive? Yeah, but if you ask me, it's been blown way out of proportion. Objection! You know what my golden rule is, detective. Chuck out a bad cup of coffee. You can always get another. Huh? I don't get it. I'm saying we can always get another witness on the stand if we have to chuck you out. So, stick to the facts, detective. Now then, what was Miss Bird's motive? Come on, Gumshoe. She said she wanted to steal a lottery ticket. I knew it. That's what we heard yesterday, too. Disappeared from the scene of the crime. And it wasn't just any lottery ticket. It was a winning ticket for $500,000. Mr. Armstrong knew about the ticket too, didn't he? But he stole the wrong one. Then, is it possible Maggie stole the winning one? What should I do? Should I press on this point a little harder or not? Press harder. We don't back down. Wait a minute. The mere fact that the lottery ticket disappeared in no way implicates my client. Ha. I have here in my hand. Oh no. The very ticket in question. That's the $500,000 lottery ticket? One of the female police officers found it when she was conducting a search of the defendant. What? Order! Order! Ha! She's quite a lucky bird, our little waitress. You will submit that ticket as evidence to the court immediately. I better keep an eye on that ticket. The way the judge's voice is quivering. This ticket was presented to the court in the previous trial, too. Then why are you acting so weird about it? But it feels heavier now somehow. $500,000, you say? It's just a scrap of paper. What matters is where it was found, Your Honor. I bet he wants to say it was found on Maggie's person. Really think there are any contradictions in this testimony? To be honest, I don't know. But Gumshoe told us out in the lobby. He said we'd be forming a united front, right? How will we win the case if he doesn't throw us a line? I have a whole lot of options right now. Best I can do is gather the facts together, I guess. Alright, so just get facts on everything then. Can I stop you for just a minute? What is it? Did I say something that contradicts the evidence? He's so desperate for that to be true, he's practically crying. Your testimony just now doesn't match the testimony given by Miss Bird. She claims that there was another man at the victim's table. Yeah, that's what she said. And what killer wouldn't say that when faced with a homicide conviction? Hey! Sadly, her testimony isn't supported by the owner or the other customer. Isn't that right, Detective Gumshoe? Yeah, it's true. Their two testimonies tie up on that. They both said there was no other guy at the table. What should I do? Should I press on this point a little harder or not? Yeah, press harder. Well, maybe the other witnesses just missed him. Perhaps their view of the victim's table is obscured in some way. Ha! That argument is as weak as the coffee at Tribulations, trite. I have here in my possession a ticket. A ticket? Looks more like a photo to me. Yes, a one-way ticket to Guiltyville. Population, the defendant. Oh! Okay, well that covers that. I was about to say, oh, well the partition! Like, oh, that's pretty clear. This is a photograph taken from near the entrance to the kitchen. This is the scene as witnessed by the chef moments after the poisoning took place. Correct? I think the court will agree that with such a clear view of the scene of the crime. How, Mr. Trite, could anyone have overlooked a second person at the table? It certainly seems to show the victim's table extremely clearly. This is insanity. They got everything down. So I guess he could have scooched on over further into the corner to hide behind the partition? He was listening to his radio, you say? Yeah, he had a portable radio in his chest pocket. Maggie told us that too, didn't she? Something about how one of them had some sort of earpiece. What should I do? Should I press on this point a little harder or not? I mean, yeah, why not? We're gonna press on everything. What was it that the victim was listening to on the radio, Detective Gumshoe? Huh? How should I know? Thanks a lot. We're now one step closer to the middle of nowhere. This isn't going very well, is it? Detective, could you perhaps tell us about the person and how it was used? Or poison and how it was used? So, traces of the poison were found in the coffee cup and nowhere else. Not sure I get you, pal. Was the poison a liquid, or was it a powder? If I had to put it in layman's terms, I'd say it was a powdery substance. So the poison could have been in anything that was on the table. Sugar, salt, pepper.
Objection.
Ha! Do you put salt and pepper in your coffee, Trite? The victim took his coffee black. No sugar. Everything is just going against us. Seems that the poison could only have been in the coffee. What should I do? Press... You got nothing to lose. Are you absolutely certain that the victim even drank any of his coffee? What do you mean? According to this file, the poison was found in the victim's coffee cup. But what proof is there that the victim ever drank any of it? Oh, hey, you're right. That's what I was thinking. In case you were wondering, that last objection was for the detective there. For me? Oh, hey, you're right. You may be fooling the court, but I'm not falling for it. If you have the time to waste, you have the time to present that piece of evidence. That piece? Sir? Yes, that piece. Well, what piece was it again? This. Should I be grateful this coffee's only hot enough to give me a first-degree burn? Oh, now I remember. This is the, victim's coffee cup. Yes, the victim's cup. Take a good look at the rim. Oh, yes, it's unmistakable. There is clearly a coffee stain on it. Conclusive proof that the victim did drink the poisoned coffee that was in this cup. The victim gulped down the bitter death that the waitress brought to him. Like this. So he downed it like a shot? For the record, the only prints on the cup were the victims and the defendants. This is not looking good. Upon further investigation of this cup, I found a certain chemical substance. At least I'm getting a lot of evidence. Dang, man. That's enough. The facts of this case seem overwhelmingly clear to me. The defendant had ample opportunity to commit the crime of which she is charged. Furthermore, it seems beyond reasonable doubt that she did indeed commit this crime. I like an old man who knows the score. There is also the matter of the $500,000 lottery ticket. That alone provides a very credible motive. I mean, for that sum of money, even I might be tempted to bend the rules. I don't mind an old man who is weak to the siren call of money. Not good, Nick. The evidence against Maggie is starting to pile up fast. Yeah, it's because the court has ruled guilty once already. I'd say it's about time to wrap up this repeat performance with one final decisive piece of evidence. He's got more evidence against Maggie? This is the apron the delightful Miss Bird was wearing at the time. Wow, that's not the cleanest apron I've seen. That stain looks like... It can't be blood, can it? Ha! Seems the star of our play was a little flustered. And somehow spilled coffee on herself. Coffee? It's not exactly the first thing that caught my eye. Of course. Coffee stain isn't the most interesting thing about this apron. No. Something else that stands out even more. Something else? I presume you mean... Of course. I'm referring to the pocket. The... pocket? A search carried out right after the incident uncovered this. Potassium cyanide. The very poison used by the killer was in her apron pocket. A bottle of poison in Maggie's pocket. Yeah, Maggie's prints were the only ones on it. What? Order, order, order. The court will accept these items into evidence. So we got an apron, and potassium cyanide. There is something still bothering me. Mr. Godot. Well, hold that thought. Small pockets but big stains. Okay. Why have you not explained the blood stain to the court? Good question. Blood stain? What blood stain would that be? Don't play games, prosecutor. The blood-colored stain that smeared all over the apron. That's ridiculous. No one told me anything about a blood stain. You don't need to be told. Just look at it. Well, detective? Could this stain really be blood? No way, sir. It's just ketchup, sir. Ketchup? She must have gotten some on her apron while taking some of their breakfast that day. You could have spoken up a little sooner, Detective Gumshoe. Pull a stunt like that again and I'll have you drink 17 cups of ketchup, witness. I thought everyone knew what it was already. I haven't seen anything yet to make me doubt the last verdict I ruled on this case. The motive, the opportunity, and the supporting evidence have all been clearly established. Well, Trite, it seems you really are a phony after all. You really know how to drive a man nuts. Witness, please continue with your testimony. Describe for the court the crime scene and the findings of your investigation there. Okay then. Crime was reported at 2:25 p.m. by a kind of scary old man, sir. Poor Maggie had passed out from the shock. Must have been real tough for her. The victim didn't have any identification on him. Well, we figured out who he was pretty quick. Then the investigation went smoothly. Maggie was searched, found a lottery ticket and the bottle of poison. And that was it. There's nothing else missing from the crime scene. You identified the victim and secured your prime suspect. Very good. Last chance to convince the court you're a real lawyer, Trite. Don't count on any more cross-examinations after this one, so let the fun begin. Okay. There was something that was missing from the scene. But this one, I also want a little more info. Wait a sec. Did I say something dumb again? Let me paraphrase what you just testified to this court. The victim didn't have any form of ID on him. That's basically what you said, yes? Yeah, basically. In that case, how are you able to identify the victim so quickly? Oh, that. He's so let down, he's got the whole sagging shoulders and puppy eyes thing going. There was a prescription bag on the victim's table along with the lottery ticket. Seems Mr. Glenelg visited his doctor before he went to Tribulations. Got the victim's name from the medical records of the doc who prescribed the meds. That's a reliable enough source for the court. What should I do? Should I have this, leave this alone, or ask to hear more? Tempted, but no. So what sort of medicine was in the bag? Well, actually the bag we found was empty. Huh? Yeah, completely empty. It was completely empty. Ha. Why was it empty? You're entering an empty paper bag as evidence? Desperate are you, Trite? Now, what happened with the investigation after that, detective? Because I was about to say, like, oh, they said nothing was missing from the crime scene. But this was... Now the prescription bag was empty. So the $500,000 lottery ticket and the bottle of poison were accounted for. Yeah. Interesting. It's true those two items are accounted for. But wasn't there another lottery ticket that was stolen that day? Oh yeah. One the restaurant owner took. Pausing. Okay. He won a whole dollar with it. A lucky guy, huh? And they're just going to let him get away with it? It was just $1, detective. I guess no one cares when it's that little. Unless it's Gumshoe. If I don't find a hole in this testimony, the judge is going to hand down his verdict. Gumshoe hasn't given us anything to work with. We can't find any contradictions if he doesn't give us something. Yeah, that's true. Maggie and Gumshoe are like Dumb and Dumber. Our only hope is that they were so dumb they missed something obvious. Come on, Gumshoe, be the dumbest you've ever been. That's so messed up. But... this sticks out to me. Detective Gumshoe, I think I should point something out to you. There's just one small contradiction in your testimony. Oh, finally. Getting all anxious just waiting. So hurry up, will ya? You testified that nothing else was missing from the crime scene. However, the prescription bag you mentioned was empty. Did the officers recover the medicine from the scene of the crime later? No. They didn't. The victim was given a prescription right before going to trade bin. Where then did the medicine disappear to? You are too cool, pal. Indeed. Due consideration was given to the victim's prescription in the previous trial. Witness, why do you always overlook such vital pieces of evidence? I guess that's the most careless thing I've done so far, huh? The victim was killed by poison, and the victim's medicine mysteriously disappeared. The victim's own prescription could have been the lethal poison itself. Good observation. Order! Order! Well, Mr. Godot, what do you have to say to that? Ha. That's all. What? Read for the court the name of the clinic on the prescription bag, if you will. What's the clinic's name got to do with anything? New Ear Otolaryngological Clinic? Otolaryngological? Just what kind of illness was the victim suffering from, Mr. Godot? Hardly an illness, Your Honor. Is that ear medicine? More like a bitter war wound, you could say. A war wound? The day before the incident, Mr. Elk found himself in a fight. He took a blow to the side of the head and ruptured his eardrum. He ruptured his eardrum? Then what on earth was the prescription he was given? It was a cream that was to be applied topically inside his ear canal, not to be ingested. What? Well, so much for that. It's mentioned in the autopsy report if you read the fine print. They found traces of the medication in the victim's left ear. Yes, here it is, in very, very fine print. Seems Mr. Elk correctly applied some of his medication while he was at trade bin. Therefore, it would be absurd to believe that he would have eaten his medication. It seems that this medication is irrelevant to the case after all. No. Nick, if you don't think of something quick, it'll all be over. She's right. But I can't get away with any old weak objection. What should I do? I mean, it was missing for a reason. Only moments ago, Mr. Godot made the following statement. It seems Mr. L correctly applied some of his medication while he was at Tribulations. If that's the case, then why was the medication not found at the scene of the crime? But the medication in question was for topical use inside the ear canal. It doesn't change the fact that it could not be found at the crime scene. However insignificant it may seem, it's a lawyer's duty to pursue the truth.
Objection.
You know as well as I do that that medication is irrelevant. It hardly seems likely that a prescription drug would contain potassium cyanide. It hardly seems likely that the coffee the waitress served would contain it either. But it did. The possibility is undeniable. That's enough. Mr. Godot, is the detective the only witness the prosecution wishes to call? Mr. Godot. I got my own witness I'd like to call, sir. It's the old man who was there in the restaurant on the day of the murder. Victor Kudo, the pigeon hater. Very well. The matter of the disappearing medication seems little more than trivial at best. However, it wasn't explored at all in the previous trial, and that is something that bothers me. Yay! Good job, Nick. The court will adjourn for a 10-minute recess, after which we will hear the prosecution's next witness. Suppose this means I'll just have to finish you off in my last 6 cups. Court is adjourned for recess. Okay, we bought time. Phew, that was close. Tell me about it. I nearly died in there. That's my line, sir. No, it's my line. I think I really did die a little bit. Looks like we all nearly died in there. I can't believe Detective Gumshoe. How could he betray us like that? Huh? He said he'd help me, but he totally set me up. I don't think he meant to do that, Maggie. He was backed into a corner. I mean, the guy's got to do his job, right? It's okay. I know all about lies and betrayal. I've had them my whole life. But it really hurt this time. It felt like someone punched me hard in the stomach. I hate that guy. I don't ever want to see him again. Poor Gumshoe. So the next witness is going to be that old guy from the park, right? Yeah, Mr. Kudo. Lover of waitress outfits and projectile seeds. One moment, please. Okay. I bet he's gonna be really stubborn. I mean, he's pretty set in his ways, you know. Yeah, he's a big old grouch. Are you gonna be able to handle him, Nick? Yeah, I can take whatever he throws at me. Even those never-ending bird seeds. Alright, looks like we're going on a little longer without an intermission. I'm fine with that. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Maggie Bird. Mr. Godot, your next witness, please. Prosecution calls the lucky old-timer who caught the show over a cup of coffee. Will the witness please take the stand? Name and occupation, if you don't mind. Name is Victor Kudo, born and bred in the land of the rising sun. Honor and duty are what make me, mind you. I can be quite emotional at times, too. We don't need to hear about that, Mr. Kudo. Just tell the court your occupation. Occupation? Listen, young'un. How much call do you think there is for kimono embroidery around here? Kimono embroidery? That's what I do, or did, back in Japan. I embroidered family crest on kimonos. My ancestors were embroidering kimonos before this country even existed. Wow, real craftsman. They're a dying breed. Hey, maybe he could embroider my costume sometime. Anyway, like I said, there's not much demand for that kind of thing here. So I had to take a job working the cash register at the burger joint, pretending to smile. That burger joint would have been better off putting them in the kitchen. Now then, witness, were you in the restaurant at the time of the incident? Oh yes, I was eating some seeds over a cup of Javachino. Seeds? What do you think these are? I see. So you saw everything that happened, Gramps. Did I? Oh yes. Oh yes I did. I saw it all. Then please tell the court. We're all ears. Sure, sure. I'll tell you. I'll tell you every last detail. He's really getting into this. The young man was reading the sports paper. The serving girl brought him a Javachino, but she put something in it. The man took one sip of it, looked like he was in terrible pain, and then collapsed. That's the serving girl, right there in the defendant's chair. I remember her well. Mr. Kudo, she is not a serving girl. Please refer to her as a waitress. Kah, you're as bad as the rest of them. All these newfangled words. What's wrong with the old-fashioned ones, Newfangled? All this talk of radios and glasses, it's wireless and spectacles, I tell you. Excuse me? Listen to me, everyone. Don't forget the old values. Don't let the good days slip away. Good old days, rather. Well, I think it's time to begin the cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Okay. I saw nothing here, so... So, you saw the victim then? You saw Mr. Glenelg? I wanted to know if Goodson Braun retained his championship or not. So he was looking at the sports paper the victim was reading, huh? And at the location in question... There are partitions between tables on the same side of the restaurant, right? So what if there are? You say that you could see the victim. It means you were sitting at a table on the other side of the restaurant, correct? Kah. I go to that place to drink Javachino. I don't go to sit. I don't remember what table I was sitting at. I mean, you go there to eye the waitress. How do you not Okay. Thought we would be onto something there. Mr. Kudo, that is a very grave accusation. Are you sure about what you saw? Victor Kudo never makes mistakes. I dot every T and cross every I. I see. My eyesight's fine. The doctor said I only need spectacles for reading and driving. I bet his eyes are only really fine when he's scoping out a waitress. I saw what the serving girl put into the Javachino as well. I bet I know it's coming up and someone's telling me I'm not going to like it. We have to press. Your Honor, we need more clarification on what was put into the victim's coffee. I'd like to ask that the witness add what he knows about this to this testimony. I agree. Witness, will you enlighten us, please? Sure, sure. There's no question about it. She's very conspicuously put some white powder in there. Did she really put that into the coffee? You doubt me, boy. She took some out of a small brown bottle and sprinkled it in. Could she have been adding sugar? Sugar in a small brown bottle like that? Like that? Witness, could you please describe the bottle in more concrete terms? A bottle like this, perhaps? Oh, there it is. That's the one. That's the bottle of potassium cyanide, I presume. So what did the accused put into the coffee? I think it's clear, don't you? Arg. White powder. Well, let's just press on the other stuff. He took just one sip? You youngins, you waste everything. Those Javachinos cost $8. In the good old days, we would have drank every last drop, eaten the cup, and then died. Congratulations, you have earned the title of battiest man to grace a courtroom. So it was an immediate death? Well, with potassium cyanide, I suppose it is possible. Oh, yes, he slumped over without so much as a twitch. Felt the Javachino I just drank turned sour in my stomach. Oh, yes, I know that feeling. And the waitress, I presume she is... You said I remember her well in reference to the waitress. Does she have any particular features that you can identify her by? Particular features? It's a disgrace, that's what it is. Sorry? You can see all the way up to her... You know. She's practically naked in that uniform. So the particular feature you recognize about the waitress is her outfit. But anyone could wear just such a uniform, even me. Mr. Wright, please spare the court of any further mental anguish from that image. Don't get all excited, Nick. You gotta keep yourself together. I guess I got a bit carried away. There are other things I recognize about her, too. He's pretty sure of himself. Alright, well then press harder. Sure, you saw a waitress take the coffee over to the victim. But what matters is whether that waitress was Maggie Bird or not. Quite right. Mr. Kudo, these other features that you recognize about the defendant, I would ask you to add them to your testimony. Sure. A ribbon in her hair and her apron straps were loose. You do seem to remember several details about her appearance. What about the most crucial detail of all? Her face. As if I wouldn't remember that. Objection! The witness noticed the straps on the accused's apron. He's unlikely to make a mistake about her face. That's right, I can even tell you the color of the ribbon in her hair. It was red. So you see, there's nothing wrong with the witness's eyesight. There's no doubt he remembers the waitress pretty well. What should I do? I get the feeling there's something more to this somehow. Yeah, there is a red ribbon there. Ask about the straps. Mr. Kudo, you seem especially interested in straps. Why is that? What? The ribbon in her hair, the straps on her apron. What's the fascination? Fascination? Oh no, BDSM. Objection! People have all kinds of fetishes, trite. You don't need to embarrass the witness. Listen, you young upstarts, I haven't got some sick strap fetish. Is there any relevance to the witness's unusual love of straps, Mr. Wright? I was just curious as to why he was so fixated on the waitress's straps. I said I haven't got a strap fetish. How many times do I have to repeat myself? Very well. Continue with your testimony, Mr. Kudo, and make it strapless. Do you think old Seedy really saw Maggie do it? Well, he probably had his eye on the waitress the whole time. That's why he was there. He was there for the cute outfits, right? Not the waitress. I guess. She makes a good point, though. Hey, did I just say something clever? What if the waitress Mr. Kudo saw really was Maggie? So we have to figure out, Nick. Was it that weird girl that didn't say anything? Objection! I guess we can ask about the back? The identifying features you described are all things you would see from the back. So what? Is it possible that you never saw the waitress from the front at all? Objection! He's got you there, Gramps. People normally talk about facial features when they're asked to describe someone. Why would he object just to agree? But this witness's testimony is nothing but straps and ribbons. This is harassment. Tell you I'm not obsessed with straps or ribbons. I'm just telling you what I saw. Mr. Kudo, the court requests that you add details about any identifying features. Features you observed from the front, that is, to your testimony. Sure. So man's testimony is getting longer and longer. If I can't find a hole in it soon, it'll get even longer, I bet. Anything that caught my interest about her when I saw her from the front. You didn't find anything to be distinct, but you did clearly see the witness's face, yes? No question about it. I didn't come this far to back down now. Victor Kudo never backs down. It's not the answer I was looking for, but okay. Matter of pride for old Seedy now, I guess. I wonder if he really did see Maggie's face or not. Like I thought, we need some concrete proof of this. Proof that the old guy didn't see the waitress clearly from the front. What would I present for this, though? Because Maggie very clearly wears glasses. Anyone would notice that. I guess I can present her? No, that's wrong. Okay. That was a Hail Mary. So I guess even outside of that, there's the fact that she had on a dirty apron. Okay. Mr. Kudo, I would like you to please take a look at this. God, that filthy thing would suit filth like you just perfectly. Actually, it reminds me of what my grandson looks like just after he's done eating. Have you ever seen this before? Of course I haven't. You think I'd forget something as dirty as that, Well, you half-witted clot. What? What is it? Ever since I said you half-witted clot, there's been an eerie silence in here. Mr. Kudo, this apron is the apron worn by the defendant on the day of the poisoning. And as you just said yourself, you wouldn't forget something like this. Which means if you had really seen this apron before... Yes, you know what I'm getting at. You couldn't have possibly seen the waitress from the front. Oops. Witness! You can't just oops your way out of this. Well. Looks like we finally have a genuine trial on our hands. Listen, Wright, here are the facts. On the day of the incident, there was only one waitress in the restaurant. That being the defendant, Miss Maggie Bird? Exactly. And when that one waitress put the poison into the coffee cup, this old guy was watching. I hope you understand the gravity of the situation, Mr. Kudo. The fate of the defendant may rest on what you say you remember seeing. Just tell the court exactly what you saw, Gramps. You rely on me, Captain. My noggin's in perfect working order. I can't remember a single occasion when I forgot what burger a customer wanted. You can't remember? Probably more like he messed up so many times he's blocking it out. Very well, let's test just how good your memory and attention to detail is, Mr. Kudo. Tell us what you remember about the victim. Okay. He was another of those pesky young types wearing a broken pair of spectacles. He had a newspaper in his right hand, and his noisy brat kept rustling its pages. The young man was listening to the wireless. I remember that well. Then the servant girl in question brought over the Javachino. Little fidget picked up the cup with his free hand and took a sip. The testimony we have just heard was to test how credible the witness's memory is. Seems to me that he remembers the victim in a great deal of detail. Oh yes, I hate those you-know-what types who are so vague about everything. How are we gonna handle this, Nick? We only need to do one thing. Just need to prove that the old man's memory is shot. Just trip him up, you mean? Is that kind of cruel? I suppose, but it's what I do best. Okay. Might as well just press on everything. Spectacles? Dark glasses to you. One of the lenses was green, but the other was broken. Newfangled rubbish, that's why I remember him so well. He did have some kind of lens over his left eye, but I wouldn't have called it a pair of glasses. So what, that was his Google Glass? He seems to have been wearing some rather modern-looking shades. Perhaps I should take to wearing some and rival Mr. Godot's sharp appearance. We better come up with something sharp and quick. Guess I'll wait and see if I should challenge him about the spectacles. The newspaper was a sports paper, was it? That young hooligan, I nearly asked him, can't you even read without fidgeting, How was I supposed to be able to read the back page with all the wrestling going on? Need to find out if Gustine Braun retained his championship title. It was his paper, not yours. If you wanted to know so bad, why don't you buy your own? What are you looking at me like that for, What, did he say, who are you to judge? Anyway, Gustine Braun got beaten yesterday, by the way, anyway. Okay. Forgot to unmute. Yeah, we're pressing on that. The wireless, yeah, the decadent young rascal. Back in my day, we would listen to one or the other. Sounds like my mom. Like, oh, you got the computer on and you're playing a game? Pick one or the other. Like, okay. Anyway, oh boy. Using an earpiece. Selfish, that's what it is. I was straining my ears, but I couldn't catch any of it. Was he that desperate to listen to the radio? Why are you looking at me like that for him? How dare you feel sorry for me? Ow. Ow. Okay. You mean the waitress who you only saw from behind, right? You're one of those, are you? You never let anything go, isn't that right? Maybe. What does it matter if I saw her from the front or behind? My eyes don't lie. Better not push it until I've got some hard evidence. His free hand? Yes. Which hand was that? Weren't you listening before? Cloth ears. I said he was wrestling the newspaper with his right hand, didn't I? His free hand wasn't his right hand, then... Okay, alright. Perhaps the great Mr. Wright has 3 hands. Yeesh, I was only asking, no need to gang up on me and treat me like a freak. The whole point of this cross-examination is to establish just one thing. This old guy's memory has more holes than a slice of Swiss. Guess we just need to find a contradiction in his testimony somewhere, huh? Anything will do. Even the smallest detail. We just need one mistake and he's ours. Just checking. I guess we don't have a picture of the crime scene then. Oh, wait. Oh no. There was, yeah, the crime photo. He's not holding anything in his right hand. I present that here? No. Alright, fair enough. I'm gonna give the crime photo a shot on this one. No. Okay then. Getting a little worried here. Are we gonna have to get into some 5D stuff here? 'Cause okay, you can see the coffee stain on that side of the cup. And the handle of the cup is on the right, meaning that's what you would grab if you grabbed it with your right hand. But if the cup was turned around, like if he were to grab it with his left hand, like to grab the handle, the edge he would take a sip from would be on the other side. We're really going with that, huh? Okay. Mr. Kudo, do you remember what you were told at the start of this testimony? That this was a way of testing the credibility of your memory? I know. There's nothing wrong with my memory, I tell you. Nothing. If I got anything wrong, I'll eat these seeds and sing the pigeon song. Care to tell us where this is going, Wright? According to Mr. Kudo, the victim was holding the paper in his right hand, while drinking coffee with his free hand, which would make that his left. Ah, what is this? Kindergarten? But I would like the court to please take a look at this. That's the cup the victim used, correct? Yes, and on the rim you'll notice the mark left by the victim's lips. Yes, there is a stain left by the coffee. If you consider where that stain is, you'll clearly see the victim was holding the cup in his right hand. But how? Well, Mr. Kudo, the court is waiting for your epic performance. You said you'd eat those seeds and sing the pigeon song. Is he really gonna do it? Mr. Kudo, I'm afraid this is simply not acceptable. I think the witness had better go back to the park where he came from. Dang. Wait! You think I'm gonna stand here and listen to you tell me I'm mad? You're wrong. I don't care about that dirty coffee cup. I know what I saw. You still insist on your testimony? That young brat was holding the cup in his left hand. Oh yes, no question. I'm a good law-abiding citizen, I am. It's that dead young hotbot. Hotbot? And you spiky-haired yahoo, who are at fault. Who, me? Wow. Rude. Thank you, old man. We've heard quite enough from you already. Don't call me old man, old man. How old is the judge? I think I keep asking that. He's 68. That's just pretty old. Been around for 68 years, I have. You can't ignore me. Listen to what I've got to say. I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo, but... Sure. Why not hear a little more? Mr. Godot! This is my 16th cup of coffee. This is your final stand. Thank you, Captain. You can rely on Victor. Left hand or right hand? The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. He kept fiddling with it all the time. He was fiddling with it just before he picked up the cup, too. Then he used the same hand to pick up the cup, his left hand. We know that the victim was wearing an unusual monocle over his left eye. It wasn't a monocle, Your Honor. It was a small computer monitor often used by programmers. A monitor? You mean like a television screen? The inside of the lens is a screen that displays computer data. It's called an HMD. It's a common tool in the victim's line of work. HD, TV, DVD, CD, all these newfangled letters drive me mad, but they don't matter. I know what I saw and I'm telling the truth. It's true, he doesn't seem to be lying. And those are the facts, in good old black and white. Alright, left hand or right hand? Just gonna press on everything to start. So the victim was wearing an HMD. HDTV, CD, DVD, what does it matter? It was none of them actually, but anyway. And you're sure that he was wearing the earpiece on the same side? No question. I could only see that side of his head from where I was sitting. Yeah, that's pretty obvious if you look at the floor plans. On the opposite table, he'd only have a view of the side of the victim's head. Seems you kept an eye on Mr. Glenn Elg. He was getting on my nerves. Rustling that newspaper and fiddling with his earpiece all the time. Then he went and made all that fuss dying from one sip of Javachino. I wanted to say to him, calm down, you young brat. Just looking at him made me suddenly speed up my seed eating. I could have choked. So I take it the victim was a walking ball of nervous energy. The earpiece you mentioned, which hand did the victim touch it with? You're one of those people. One of those people who uses his left hand to get things out of his right pocket. Or fastens his left cuff with his right hand. When the tour guide says on your right side, you'll see the famous blah blah. You're the only one who deliberately looks left, well, aren't you? No, I didn't mean... Obviously, he used a hand on the same side of his body that the earpiece was in. So if he had the HMD on his left side, then it was his left hand, I guess. You seem very sure of yourself, Mr. Kudo. It's because I know what I saw, no matter what tricks you try to play on me. It looks like he really did see the guy picking the cup up with his left hand. This is a dead end. Well, Nick, what do you think? I think the guy's telling the truth. But even so, something's not quite right. And chuck evidence at him until he breaks. But if he's not lying, there wouldn't be any contradictions in his testimony, right? Well, that's an interesting way of putting it. Wait, he had a thing in his left ear. But his left eardrum was ruptured. Why would you have an earpiece in the same ear as a ruptured eardrum? Thank you. I'm not sure what the relevance of this is, but Mr. Kudo, there is something very strange about your observations of the victim. What? You say he was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the HMD. No question, you can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear, without a doubt. I only see that side of his head from where I was sitting. I don't think so. What did you say? You're no doubt unaware of this fact, Mr. Kudo. But the victim couldn't hear with his left ear. His eardrum was ruptured. Eh? Traces of medication for his condition were found in his ear canal. That's right, it's impossible that the victim was wearing his earpiece in his left ear. Because he couldn't even hear in that ear. Is that true, Captain? It is. Pigeon! Pretty pigeon. I guess that's the pigeon song. Order! 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 This witness's testimony is completely unreliable. He only saw the waitress from behind. And he claims the victim was wearing an earpiece when we know his eardrum was ruptured. Well, Mr. Godot, we got him. A single drop of milk is all it takes to destroy the pure black magic in the cup. This old man is my drop of milk. Captain, are you calling me a drip? This is the victim's coffee cup in which the potassium cyanide was found. The mark on the rim clearly shows that the victim picked it up with his right hand. I'll never back down. I know I'm right. The lad drank his Javachino with his left hand. Let me put you out of your misery. Clearly the victim used both hands. He took a sip with the cup held in his right hand and then switched to his left. That's what the old man saw. Impossible. The witness has already testified on numerous occasions. The victim died immediately after taking just one sip of the coffee.
Objection!
Which hand the victim used to pick up the coffee is irrelevant, Your Honor. The facts still stand. With one hand or the other, Mr. Elg drank the poisoned coffee. Like this. Sadly, Mr. Godot, that doesn't wash. Did I read that correctly? Oh, yes, I did. Okay. The point of this testimony was to establish whether the witness's memory was credible. And the results are clear. The testimony given by this witness is useless. I believe it is time to conclude today's proceedings. I am satisfied that the witness is not deceiving the court. But to be frank, his testimony is a farce. Did you have to be so frank? Take that, you pompous old fogey. I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo. You can't reach me from there. I'm ordering the defense and the prosecution to investigate this case further. That is all for now. This court is adjourned. Uh-oh. Wait. If we stop now, where does that leave me? Leave you, Mr. Kudo. Thanks to that blue-suited young upstart over there. I'm just a bumbling old man who can't even dot his T's or cross his I's now. How is your bad memory my fault? I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo, but there's nothing I can do. I kept my mouth shut until now. There's something else the court should know. What? There's more. To be precisely honest, it might not be anything. But I want another chance. I want another crack at you, you young shark. Me? He's looking at me like I'm some sort of evil shogun. Well, everyone, what do you say to one final showdown? Final chapter in this eccentric old man's scrapbook. Sorry, Gramps. I've already had my 17th cup of coffee. What have you got to lose, Captain? I'll give you all the Javachino you want if you come to my house after the trial. Maybe 68 years old, but Victor Kudo is still a man. That's enough, witness. I believe it will be quicker for the court to just hear your testimony. You bet. Much, much quicker. I can't believe this is happening. You better get ready, youngster. I get the picture. Just quit throwing those seeds at me, would you? He's got to be using some sort of infinite ammo code with that box of seeds. The final showdown. First of all, I want to stress that this might be nothing. I'm not too sure of myself. The young boy slumped over the table as soon as he took one sip of his Javachino. Well, the clumsy idiot upset the vase. He knocked it right over. It broke, and the strip of cloth covering the table got completely soaked. Well, how about that? Turn things upside down, huh? Is that all? Yes, that's all. Remember it perfectly. Hey, you're doubting me again? You're down to poor defenseless old man? No, we are not doubting you, Mr. Kudo. Did you get the feeling there's a question hanging on everyone's lips, Nick? Yeah. So what? Probably. That's all I can think of, and I have to cross-examine this guy. You're a bird brain. That's why that's all you can think of. Very well, Mr. Wright. Your final cross-examination, please. What does this have to do with anything? Like, I'm not even gonna press on everything. I'm just gonna go to this. A vase, you say? Yes. There are vases on all the tables in that place. There are accidents waiting to happen. They're practically begging to be knocked over. Well, he's right about there being vases. I do remember seeing them, too. There was a vase on the table when I ate lunch there. You saw the moment when the victim actually knocked over the vase? Well, it's hard to say. It's a bit unclear. How do you really define? Okay, I get it. I heard it break, and the sight of it is burned into my memory as clear as day. Soaked in water, you mean? Yes. It splashed me on the knee as well. You said you were sitting at a table across the room from the victim, correct? And yet the water still managed to splash onto you? It was cold. I clearly remember it splashing me. Could the water really make it all the way across to the other side of the room? You mean the vase on the victim's table falling upside down and breaking? The vase turned upside down, and my testimony is turning this case upside down. It's a joke. I just want everyone to hear it. What do you think, Captain? I'm impressed by your ability to waste time. Godot hasn't raised any objections for a while now. So, you young show-off, with that scrap of information, I'm throwing down the gauntlet. If I lose this one, I'll take it like a man in a mid-defeat. It's really giving you the evil eye, Maya. It's you he's looking at, Nick, not me. It's like he's saying, I triple dog dare you to find a contradiction, youngin. Guess I'll just have to rise to the challenge then. Well, that's blatant. The vase is still standing. Mr. Kudo, this is a photograph of the crime scene. So what? Look carefully at the table. The vase is there, intact. Huh? Lost your tongue, Granddad? I'm no granddad of yours, Hopscotch. It's not an insult. Enough. If you throw any more seeds in this courtroom, the cleaners will be here all night. What is it now? I just remembered something. Yes, go on. The broken vase. It was on my table. Can we just take him off the stand already? Ah, well, you see, it startled me when that young lad collapsed. So I stood up. It must have been when it fell over. The vase on my table, I mean. The vase on your table. Yes, it was on my table. And that's how my groin came to be completely soaked. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Kudo. You certainly earned your kudos for today. I'd like to ask a question now. Have I been any use at all? Perhaps that's something you should reflect on yourself, Mr. Kudo. Wait a minute. If that's the case, there's more. I've got more to say. Oh yes, I remember something else. Bailiff, escort the witness out of the courtroom. That was a waste of time. Well, we seem to have been considerably sidetracked, and I am still not in a position to deliver a verdict. The defendant has not been positively identified as the waitress in question. Additionally, there are 2 disparities in the testimony we have heard thus far. The mark on the coffee cup that the victim supposedly drank from with his left hand, and the earpiece which was inserted into his left ear, out of which he couldn't hear. Wow, Nick, you did it! I therefore require both the defense and the prosecution to further investigate the facts. Yes, Your Honor. There's one more thing before I call today's session to an end. One more thing, Your Honor. The witness we just heard from, he is most insistent that his testimony should be of use, so he summarized it accordingly to this statement. Okay. You may each have a copy of it if you wish. Whatever. Prosecution doesn't need props like that. Godot's really mad, huh? Yeah. I would be too. Very well. Here you are then, Mr. Wright. There are 3 copies. My own, yours, and Mr. Godot's. Yes, Your Honor. Alright, Victor's testimony. I'm sorry. This isn't a piece of testimony, more like a 5-year-old's apology. When the accident occurred, I broke the vase at my seat. I'm sorry. Okay. What the heck are we supposed to do with 3 copies? That is all. The court is adjourned. What? Okay, well, we've bought more time, but I have 0 clue where this is going. Oh well, see you all next time for more Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. Hopefully this recording is fine. I did see some weird aliasing going on, so hopefully that won't show up in the final thing. Anyway, see you all next time. Goodbye.